Okay, so here we have the Fuji X-T3. Now, the reason why I enjoy this camera so much is just, of course, the looks. Now, the looks is not what you want to impress others about this camera. It does look nice with the classic knobs and all that, right? It looks very professional. But what I use in this camera the most is two features. The EVF, which it has, like when you're taking picture, this is the natural way of doing that. So when you're taking picture, look through the EVF, electronic view finder, and that's what I use this camera most compared to the Sony NEX 5T, which doesn't have it. They only have a screen here, as you can see, flip up screen, and allows for, like, for example, selfie and all that. This one does not have that feature. It's meant mainly, I think, for photography and video filming, basically not of yourself but of others, right? So yes, the EVF number one is the most important feature in this camera. And the other one, which I use a lot and most of the time, is actually this particular lens here. This is a kit lens, but it's amazing kit lens. It's an 18-55, just like the Sony kit lens, but much more superior in the sense that it's not f 3.5 to 5.6, but this is actually f, I believe, 2.8 to 4. So a really narrow spectrum and very wide aperture. Now, that's not the reason why I like this lens particularly. It's actually the fact that there's this aperture ring here, okay? So you can switch to manual, and I use this aperture ring to control the focus and the light. So really cool. That is one of the features I wish all camera, maybe the lens itself, has this ability to switch from auto to manual, and you can adjust the aperture ring. Why is that important? Because if there's too much light, I can just adjust the aperture ring, right, to become very narrow, to allow low light coming in. And if it's very low light, I'll just bring it all the way up. And the focus is still in place. So amazing feature. I wish all camera has that. It feels very natural. So two things this camera has, superior feature over the NEX is the fact that it has EVF and the manual aperture ring. Now, other feature, of course, maybe the dial, which looks pretty cool. You can adjust the shutter speed, the ISO, and there's also these knobs from the back and front. Again, this is a preference. You want it to have access to it very quickly. That's fine. But these are the two main features I really enjoy of this camera. And having this camera feels a little bit more professional than the Sony NEX 5T. However, for taking picture, anywhere, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just a little bit more feature rich in this camera. Maybe it's worth an extra $400 or $500, depending on you. And this camera is it. So have a look at the picture that I took with this camera. There's not that much of a difference if you just want to take the picture based on having it focused and the natural color. And oh, by the way, the third feature I forgot to mention is that the Fujifilm has a natural built-in color. So they're known for the natural film-like photo. So I usually use the Velvet. I think that's the classic one that Fujifilm has, and I use that a lot for taking photos. So that's because of the great contrast and rich in color. So yeah, that's the third feature that this Fujifilm has over the Sony NEX 5T. So if that's what you like, better enriched color, more control over the aperture ring, like for example here, and the EVF, this is the camera for you. But anyway, have a look at the photo that I took with this camera. Enjoy.